Hello, beautiful manifestors. It is Olivia Grace, and I'm back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to create change, stay consistent, how to deal with the 3D when you are in really toxic, unhealthy situations. Okay, so this could be relationships, this could be your health, this could be your home life, anything, and how to deal with that to still manifest, right? And I know everybody always says circumstances don't matter, and they don't. But when you're going through a situation that is pressing and dire and negative, and you're surrounded by that, it can really feel like a hindrance. So my intention for this video is to really help you to break through that, to create some amazing change in your life despite what it is that you're going through. And I want to say a few things before I just continue. So the first thing I want you to know is that I'm not trying to sell you anything in this video. I am not leading up to, oh, you can do all these things if you buy my course. Like, I'm telling you everything that I know to help you because I truly want to help you. If you would like one-on-one help from me, if you want me to help you with your specific situation and you can afford coaching, then I do have that available. But know that I'm not holding anything back in this video or any of my videos. I truly want to prosper you guys that are watching this video. The second thing is that I watch lots of videos too, or I have, watched lots of YouTube videos. And as far as manifestation content, I feel like people are very much on the surface. They're talking about surface level things, which is fine and great because it helps those that are fresh into the community to get a grasp on it. And it also helps, it's good enough for some people. A lot of people are able to get great results from surface level advice and tips and stuff. But there are some people that struggle for years and can't understand why. And that is where I come in because I am basically like your troubleshoot for whatever it is that you're going on with your manifestation. I talk about all the little details and small tips and tricks that are kind of overlooked or that I notice that make big differences. So I'm actually going to try and hurry up with this video because my storage at my phone is going off and it just cut my video off before this. So I'm going to hurry. I'm going to try to hurry, but I also want to make sure that I say everything that I want to say. So definitely like the video, comment, share it with someone if you think it will help. And I know this is going to prosper you. I'm intending that it does. So the first thing I want to say is that I'm sorry for whatever it is that you're going through. I know how it is to go through tough times, and I will talk more. I don't really talk about too much in detail about things that I go through or have gone through and pulled myself out of with manifestation, but I will in the future. But I just want to encourage you that if you found yourself in this community, then it is for a reason. It is purposeful. You're meant to come through what you're going through. And I think starting with that mindset of you're destined, even the fact that you found this video, you're destined to come beyond that. And not only that, what helps keep me going in times of trials and difficulties is that I know that I will be able to then turn around and teach you guys and help uplift people that feel hopeless and let them know that I've been to hopeless places and pulled myself out. So hopefully you can take on that kind of concept too. It doesn't matter that you don't have a YouTube or whatever. Like, your story can be the reason why someone else keeps going or why someone else comes through what they come through. But you have to come through first. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing that I want to talk about is when you're going through distressing situations and you're trying to change it, you need to have compassion for yourself. Compassion is what allows you to continue to get up in the face of negative things. Compassion for yourself is what allows you to know and continue to decide, regardless of what people are telling you, regardless of what's going on around you, that you deserve better and you will have better, okay? Compassion, I tell this to all of my clients, it's so underrated, but it makes a big difference. If you're down on yourself, every time you fail or every time you do something wrong or every time you have a setback or when it seems like things are not changing, you're not going to get very far, okay? So be compassionate for yourself. If you're not your own cheerleader, you won't have the strength to carry on to get through, okay? The next thing is that it is 100% possible, you guys. There are so many stories and people that have come through terrible situations, terrible situations. Every situation that you could be going through, there's somebody that came through it and won with it, right? There was a quote I saw and it said, someone took that same situation that you're complaining about and won with it, right? And I'm not saying, that you shouldn't complain or that, your life isn't hard or anything like that, you guys. But what I'm saying is that you have the option. It can be hard and you can let that hardness decide that you're not going to get what you want and let it defeat you, or it can be hard and you can overcome it. The choice is up to you. And at the end of the day, you guys, that's what it comes down to. There's so many times when I would go through tough times and I would just want someone to sympathize with me, someone to come and fix everything. Why can't, this and that? But you really are the superhero that you're waiting on. You really are the person that can change your situation. You really can. And you're really the only one. There's nobody that can come and save you. You have to save yourself. So, but you have to have that mindset that you can, that you're not bound by your circumstance, right? You can come through it. It's possible. And not only that, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to have a more beautiful life, regardless of how hard it is, right? You owe it to yourself to live a life that you enjoy while you're here on this planet, okay? So the way that I look at like struggles and things like that when it comes to manifestation is that it's a training opportunity, right? It's a training, like what honestly helped me become a great manifester, you guys, was going through lots of trials. And I'm not saying that you have to go through trials to manifest, but when you're struggling and you don't have anyone to turn to, you don't have anything to turn to, the only person I had to turn to was myself and my mind. And because of that, I learned early on to rely on my mind for things, not to rely on what's outside. Because if I was relying on what was outside of me, I was going to go without, right? So I had to lean on my imagination. And I see it as training, right? I feel like we come here, this game of life, and we pick our levels before we enter. So that's just my belief. You don't have to take that belief on. But, some people pick an easier level where things are just handed to them. They're just spoiled, you know what I mean, their whole life. And some people come in and say, I want to have some growth. I want to have some trials. I want to have some things and still win, right? The trials aren't meant to beat you down. It's meant for you to come through, okay? So see your trial as an opportunity to grow, as an opportunity to become a great manifester, an opportunity to become someone who can pull something out of nothing. That is such a skill that you can use, right? And then when your only resource is manifestation, trust me, you will get good at using that resource, okay? And the last thing I want to tell you guys is what techniques to do. So in my opinion, robotic affirming and SATs are the two most powerful manifestation techniques that you can use to make big changes very quickly, okay? Because of how they impress the subconscious mind, all right? So you can pick whichever is better for you. If you're not a visual person, you should do the robotic affirming. If you're not, if you would rather do SATs, then you should do SATs. And I'll put videos in like the description or whatever of both of those. But also the bonus technique is to tell a new story, you guys. Take on a new identity. Appropriate the state of the person who is free from what you have and what are your current circumstance. And what I mean by that is to start claiming yourself to be free. If you're one of the girls on the video is saying she's living with her mom and it's a bad situation, start in your mind, in your imagination, living in your own house, living in your own home, loving living in your own home, enjoying the peace of living in your own home, okay? I've done this so many times, you guys. Mentally put myself somewhere else when I was in the midst of distressing situations, and it changes quickly, you guys, okay? So your situation is not bigger than you. And I said this in the first 3D video, and I'm gonna say it again, but 3D circumstances cannot be the determination to what you will have, you guys. It just can't. And this is the thing. I would love, I won't even say I would love to like coddle you and say, oh, it's, this and that. But I wouldn't love to do that because you're a God of your reality, and I'm not going to see you as anything less. I'm not going to treat you as anything less. no matter your circumstance, you are still able to come through. But you have to go into it with that mindset that I can come through this. I've already come through this. And not only that, but this is going to prosper not only me, but my family and my friends and everybody else that I come across that I can share this story of triumph with. Okay. So have compassion for yourself. Know that it's possible and that you owe it to yourself to do this. Okay. And see this as a training opportunity to beef up your manifestation skills, claim your new life through robotic affirming, through SATs, through telling a new story, whichever, or all three, whatever, and stick to it. The last thing I will say, and then I'm gonna hop off, is persist, you guys. You have to persist. It doesn't matter. Even if it's gonna take you 5 years, you guys, to really change your life, and it won't, but if it was really gonna take you 5 years, it's better that you take those 5 years and you persist, and instead of you living your whole life in a way that you don't want to live it. Okay. And the real last thing that I'll say is that the best story I have of impossible circumstances was Neville getting out of the army. Neville was drafted into World War II and got honorably discharged, right? He wrote back once he got honorably discharged. I talk about this story all the time, but once he got honorably discharged, he wrote back to his friend that was still in the army and told him what he did in his imagination. Neville used SATs and revision to get out of the army. He told his friend couldn't believe him and didn't practice it. And his friend came back 3 years later when the war ended and was like missing like a leg or an arm or something like that. Okay. Because he couldn't conceptualize what Neville was telling him. He didn't want to do what Neville was telling him. He was too caught in his circumstance. I'm sorry, you guys, but being drafted into a world war where people are getting shot and killed all around you is pretty high on the trauma list, right? It's pretty high on the distressing 3D circumstance. But if Neville was to just succumb to that and just say, even when Neville tried at first, he was told no. And he persisted that no, it's going to be what he says. And he went home. And within 3 months, he was home while his friend came home with a missing arm or leg. Okay. So yeah, it's hard. It's difficult. It sucks. But you have to see beyond it, you guys, in order to come through it. That's the only option, you guys. You can't dwell there and sit there and think things are going to change. You have to mentally come through it in order to do it. And you can, okay? You can. If Neville can get out of the World War II for no absolute reason other than he asked, you can get what you want. You can live a beautiful life. I'm going to be quiet now. I'm intending that this helps. I'm intending that this prospers you. I love you guys so, so, so much. I wish I could make this video, like, if you guys have more questions or want me to elaborate, let me know. I'm just trying to hurry up so it doesn't cut off. But I love you guys, and I'll see you in a video soon.